What is going on, everyone? My name is the California Cougar, and welcome back to another video. Today, we are going to be making our official NFL predictions for the 2021 NFL season. A few weeks ago, I made a tier list on the NFL season based on how competitive I think each team is going to be. But, like I said in that video, that was not an official prediction. This is my official prediction. This is how I think the divisions are going to go. And basically my preliminary playoff predictions as well. I'm going to be talking about that as well. So let's get right into it. We have a lot to talk about. So starting off with the AFC, because that's not my conference. So we'll start off with the AFC. Starting off with the AFC East, which is the formerly the Patriots Dynasty division, but we know that's not that case anymore. So starting off, in fourth place, I've got the New York Jets. I don't really think much is going to change this year. Welcome to the NFL, Zach Wilson. I think that'll be a massive upgrade for him. But, I mean, the ownership, the coaching on that team. I mean, good luck to Robert Saleh, seriously, our defensive coordinator for the longest time. He was the guy that helped us get to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. But, yeah, good luck to him. I think they'll improve, but they're still a last-place team. In third place, I've got the New England Patriots. Again, same thing with the Jets. Improved, but still not a very good team, I don't think. Mac Jones has looked kind of at best in the preseason, so yeah, we'll see how he does, but I just don't really believe in the Patriots right now. In second place, I've got the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins, I think, are going to be very strong this year. They might even have a chance to go for the AFC East title, but there's one team in the AFC East that I think is going to do better, and that, of course, is the Buffalo Bills, the first place team. Buffalo is just so good this year, I think. I think they're going to be Super Bowl contenders. I really do. Like, they were already Super Bowl contenders last year, and they got even better this year, I feel like. So, yeah, like Buffalo, I feel like is going to do really well in this division. I've got them winning the AFC East pretty easily. So moving on to the AFC North, this is the division with the Steelers and the Browns and all them. So starting off in fourth place, I've got the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't really think much has changed from last year. Their O-line still sucks. It improved, but it still kind of sucks. They should have taken Penei Sewell, whatever his name is, in the first round, I think. They really needed that offensive tackle, but they didn't do that. And Joe Burrow, I mean, he hasn't looked great in the preseason. Hopefully he'll do better because I think he certainly deserves better. But, yeah, we'll see how he is in the regular season. But so far, preseason hasn't looked too good. So I've got the Bengals in fourth. In third place, this is going to be controversial, Pittsburgh Steelers. I just don't think the Pittsburgh Steelers have it anymore. I really don't. They tend to be a team that just kind of hangs around for a while, threatens to make the playoffs. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Like that, they're just that kind of team, just kind of a mediocre, average team. Last year they started off the season 11-0. That proved to be a fluke, given their performance in their final 5 games of the regular season and their playoff game. I mean, that was terrible. 28 points in the first quarter. And that was mainly because their offense was so bad. Ben kept throwing picks, and Cleveland kept getting really good field position. So, yeah, that was a terrible performance. And I just don't believe in them this year. Their O-line got worse from last year. Marquise Pouncey's gone. Big Ben, I mean, the guy's washed. I just don't think he has it anymore. Yeah, they got Najee Harris, but like I said, their O-line sucks this year. Like, who's going to block for him, you know? Their defense is still good. Like, I think they just paid TJ Watt. I think their defense could definitely help them. Maybe get to a 500 or maybe slightly better than 500 record, but still, third place team. That division is just too competitive this year for them, I think. In second place, Baltimore Ravens. I know a lot of Ravens fans are probably going to come at me for this, saying like, "Oh, you just don't believe in the power of Lamar Jackson." They love to do that. They love talking smack about how good Lamar Jackson is. But honestly, like, yeah, the Ravens are going to be good this year, but I don't really feel like they improved in the offseason. They didn't get worse. I don't think they got worse, but I don't think they really improved that much. So, yeah, I think the Ravens will get into the playoffs, but it'll be as a wild card team, I think. And in first place, I've got the Cleveland Browns. Talk about a Cinderella story. Like, they went almost all the way to the conference championships last year. Unfortunately, they had a bad call against them, and then they couldn't really make up for that last year in the playoffs, so they ended up falling a little bit short. But yeah, I think the Cleveland Browns can get something going this year for sure. Baker Mayfield looked a lot better last year. Stefanski, I think that's the coach's name. I think he was a fantastic head coach, and I can't wait to see what Cleveland does. They're like the little engine that could. They're the team that they're the Cleveland Browns. I mean, they always seem to fail, but they've gotten better. They've gotten a lot better, I feel like. So I think they're going to win this division this year. All right, so moving to the AFC South. In fourth place, I've got the Houston Texans. Potentially one of the worst teams in the NFL this year. Deshaun Watson's not starting. I think it's Tyrod Taylor or something like that. Some scrub-ass quarterback who has been a backup his whole life. Yeah, I just don't feel good about this team. J.J. Watt's gone. Hopkins is gone. Like, that whole team is just gutted. Like, all their stars are gone. So, yeah. Like, do they even have any stars on their team anymore? Yeah, easily a contender for the worst team in the NFL this year. In third place, I've got the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, I don't really know how good he's going to be this year. We'll see, I guess. But, yeah, I mean, I guess he looked okay in the preseason. But, yeah, a lot of people seem to think he's going to be a bust. I wouldn't really be surprised, but yeah, Jacksonville, not quite there yet. They're still a bunch of scrubs, I think. But, yeah, they'll be better than last year, but still a third-place team. In second place, I've got the Indianapolis Colts. Apparently, Carson Wentz's injury is not nearly as bad as everyone thought it was originally. A lot of people thought he was going to be out until, like, week 12 or something like that. But apparently, he's going to be starting week 1. So, yeah, like, surprise of the century, I guess, especially since he's known for being an injury-riddled player. But, yeah. So, Carson Wentz, we'll see how he does with the Colts. I like their offense. I like their defense. I like the Colts right now. I think they've got a lot of potential. But it's not going to be enough because in first place, I have the Tennessee Titans. This team, I feel like, is loaded. Their defense, I feel like, got better in the offseason. Ryan Tannehill's still a star for that team. They got Julio Jones as well, adding to that receiver core with Corey Davis and A.J. Brown. Is Corey Davis still on that team? I actually don't know. He might be on the Jets now. I actually don't remember. I'd have to look that up. But, yeah, A.J. Brown. Like, they do have A.J. Brown, right? They're the ones with A.J. Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, the Colts or the Titans, they're a very good team this year. Of course, they got Derrick Henry as well. Beast of a running back. Probably the best running back in the NFL, if you ask me. At least rushing-wise. He ran for over 2,000 yards last year. The dude's a stud. Titans are going to be really good this year. Got them in first place. And then finally we have the AFC West. Starting off in last place, I've got the Denver Broncos. I just don't really think the Denver Broncos are going to be that great this year. I think Drew Lock is starting supposedly. I don't really know, but yeah, like that team, I think I put them in like average to below average on my tier list. I forgot where I put them, but I don't really see much from them. I've got them coming in fourth. In third place, I've got the Oakland Raiders. Same thing. They're just kind of a scrub team. Not really much to them. They got Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs, and that's about it for offense. Their defense isn't really all that great either. I just don't really see much from them. So they're going to come in third place for me. Although, them and the Broncos, I think, are interchangeable. I think one of them could be fourth, one could be third. We'll see, though. In second place, I've got the Los Angeles Chargers. I think they're a team that's improved a lot, but I don't think they're quite going to be enough to get into first place, especially since the first place team has been so good the last few years. But, yeah, I think they've got a lot of room for improvement. Justin Herbert has shown to be a great quarterback for them. I think that's going to be a good fit. But I just don't think it's going to be enough to take the division because in first place, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. Another Super Bowl contender like they are every year, especially with Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. Their O-line seemingly has gotten better this year. So, yeah, like that team is just loaded on offense. Their defense I'm still questionable with, but it's not bad. Their defense certainly isn't bad. I think it'll certainly be enough to carry them to a division title and probably a top spot in the playoffs. So, yeah, that's the AFC. Let's move on to the NFC. Starting off with the NFC East, aka the NFC Least, because this division sucks. I still think it sucks. But yeah, in fourth place, the Philadelphia Eagles. Come on, this team is a scrub-ass team. They hired Nick Sirianni. Is that the guy's name? I don't even know. But yeah, some coach that came from the Colts, I guess. He's never actually had a head coaching job in his life. I don't know what to think of this team. They're bad. They're just not good this year. So yeah, Philadelphia Eagles, another contender for worst team in the NFL this year, I think. They're just really bad. All right, so that's the fourth place team. In third place, I've got the New York Giants. They're another team that I think is improving. Like, their coach seems to be working out well for them, but I don't think they're competitive yet. I still think they're going to be around that 6-10 range, somewhere around there. I just don't really think they have what it takes to get to the playoffs just yet. Give it a couple years and maybe they'll be competitive, but not this year for them. In second place, I've got the Dallas Cowboys. Now, this might be a controversial pick, especially since they seem to play well against Tampa Bay on Thursday in the opener. They played pretty well. They had the lead going into the final couple minutes of the game. But, of course, they were also against Tom Brady, and you don't leave Tom Brady too much time. You just don't do that. Yeah, Dak Prescott looked pretty good for his return from that gruesome injury he suffered last year. I still think he's an overrated quarterback, but that's just me, of course. But yeah, he's still decent enough, I think. I just don't think that defense is going to be able to hold off against really any of their opponents. All their games are going to be high scoring, I think, because their defense just doesn't have it yet. It's better than last year, but still not there yet. And then in first place, I've got the Washington Redskins. I'm still going to call them the Redskins. For all you snowflakes out there, that's who I knew them as. I'm calling them the Redskins until they get a new name. Screw all you cancel culture nut huggers out there that like to get all sensitive because of a name of a football team. Ask most Native Americans. I'm sure most of them probably aren't offended by it at all. So, yeah. But anyway, I think the Redskins will have what it takes to win the division again this year. Their offense, a little bit questionable. They've got Antonio Gibson at running back. I think J.D. McKissick will be a good pass-catching back, I think. And then on the receiving end, Logan Thomas is fine. Terry McLaurin, I think that's the main receiver's name. He's really good, I think. I don't really know who their QB is this year. I'd have to look that up. But on defense, their defense is elite. I think that's what's going to carry them to the playoffs and to a division win is their defense because it looked good last year. I think it'll be great again this year. So there's the NFC least. Moving on to the NFC North, starting off in last place, the Detroit Lions. I think this one's a pretty easy one. This team sucks. They have Jared Goff this year. I think they could potentially win maybe a few games, but not more than 3 or 4. I think I put them in scrubs in my tier list, ironically enough. I really should have put them in first-round pick because I think they have potential to be the first overall pick this year, like the Eagles and the who else did I put down there? Not the Jets, not the Bengals, the Texans. That's who I put down there. But yeah. Don't really see much from the Detroit Lions this year. In third place, I've got the Chicago Bears. I think the Bears have potential to be a wildcard team, but they're starting Andy Dalton. What the hell are they doing? They should be starting Justin Fields. He's looked pretty good in the preseason. Why not start him? Dumb move by the Bears coaching and management, I think. But yeah, I think they're going to be third place this year. I think they've improved since last year, but again, this will be a pretty tough division, I think. And in second place, I've got the Minnesota Vikings. This is another team that I think is a lot better than they should, or I think is a lot better than they should have been last year. So, yeah, I mean, they've got a pretty good offense. Dalvin Cook's a beast of a running back. They also have Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson. They got that two-headed monster at receiver. And, of course, the running back as well. Kirk Cousins, I'm still not really a big fan of his. I think he's an overpaid quarterback, but That's just me. And then their defense, I feel like their defense can do better this year. We'll see how they do, though. And then in first place, I've got the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers, of course. There was controversy surrounding him in the offseason, but it seems like he's going to be playing this year for Green Bay, so that's why I've got them in the lead. They were great last year. I think they'll be very good again this year. Potential Super Bowl contenders, I don't really know. Their defense, I feel like, has some question marks, but Devontae Adams is back again. Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon will probably be splitting carries as running back. So, yeah, overall, I think the Green Bay Packers have this division. Now, moving on to the NFC South. Starting off in last place, I've got the Carolina Panthers. I just don't think they're that great of a team. Maybe a little bit of improvements with Sam Darnold at quarterback, but not much else there. Christian McCaffrey's back. Maybe he can give their offense a boost. But, yeah, they've got a couple of good receivers there, but otherwise, not really too much going for them, I don't think. All right, so in third place, this one's a tricky one, but in third place, I've got the New Orleans Saints, honestly. Drew Brees is retired, and that offense is a whole lot worse. Michael Thomas is out for the first third or so of the season with injury. I don't even know who the running back is anymore. Oh, Alvin Kamara. Jeez, what am I thinking? Yeah, Alvin Kamara will probably be providing the most offense for them, but yeah, their defense, I don't really see much improvement. So yeah, they've got Jameis Winston at quarterback, who has potential, but he just throws way too many picks, I think. So yeah, don't really see much from the Saints this year. In second place, I've got the Atlanta Falcons. I really should put them in third, but I think they've improved a lot. I think they can definitely improve. They got Kyle Pitts at tight end. I think that's going to be something to watch out for. Calvin Ridley is going to be their number one receiver this year. Matt Ryan, while I think he's washed, he can still throw the ball around a few times. The question mark is their defense. How good can their defense be? I think it's improved, but I still think there's room for improvement there. I've got them in third, or in second. And then in first place, of course, is going to be Tampa Bay, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady, greatest quarterback of all time. You can't really argue that anymore. The guy's a beast. He threw for 379 yards and 4 touchdowns on Thursday or something ridiculous like that. Yeah, he's 44 and he's still playing like he's in his 20s. That's amazing. And it's going to be tough to stop that Buccaneers offense. And their defense is pretty good as well. Didn't look great against Dallas, but Dallas also has a very strong offense. So, yeah, I think overall we're going to see some elite stuff from Tampa Bay this year. They're going to be really good. Potentially the best team in the NFL this year. We'll see. And then finally, we got my division, the NFC West. In fourth place, I've got the Arizona Cardinals. I think they have potential to be a good team, but not quite as good as that division. It's going to be the most competitive division this year, I feel like. I think it's going to be very competitive. They got J.J. Watt in the offseason, which I think will improve that defense. Of course, they got DeAndre Hopkins, Kyler Murray on offense. That's going to be something to watch out for, but yeah, I still think they're going to be in fourth, mainly just because that division is so tough. In third place, Seattle Seahawks, another controversial pick. But honestly, I think the Seattle Seahawks are one of the most overrated teams in the NFL this year. I think they're still good enough to make the playoffs, but yeah, I always thought Russell Wilson was an overrated quarterback. Their defense is whatever. There's not really much going for them on defense, I don't think. Their offense is fine. DK Metcalf's a great receiver, I think. And, of course, Russell Wilson is all right. Tyler Lockett's a great receiver as well. And then Chris Carson's back. We'll see if he can last the whole season without hurting himself. So, yeah, Seattle, I've got them in third. In third. In second place, I've got the Los Angeles Rams, another team that I think has improved this offseason. But not quite enough to get the division win, I don't think. They got Matthew Stafford, which I think is a fantastic fit. They did lose Cam Akers, which kind of sucks, because now Darrell Henderson's going to have to be their main back. But they still have some good receivers out there like Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp that I think will be very potent for them. And Tyler Higbee at tight end could be decent, but we'll see. We'll see what the Rams can do this year, but I think they're going to come in second. And in first place, if they can stay freaking healthy, they can win this division, damn it. The San Francisco 49ers. We'll see when Trey Lance starts. I think he should be starting personally over Jimmy G, but they're going with Jimmy G this year. But yeah, the 49ers, I think, are going to be one of the most improved teams this year. I think they're going to take the division, albeit with like a 12-5 record or something like that. They have the They certainly have the potential to get there. Their defense is, I think, could be very elite this year, especially since Nick Bosa's coming back. If they can stay healthy, they can win this division for sure, no doubt about it. Brandon Ayuk looked pretty good last year. Deebo Samuel, of course, was hurt for a while. Raheem Mostert, Trey Sermon, they've got all the weapons they need. George Kittle's going to be back, and he's going to be strong this year. So, yeah, the 49ers definitely have the potential to win the division. The question is, can they stay healthy? I think they'll get it done. They did it 2 years ago. There's no reason to think that they can't do it this year. So, yeah, they didn't really lose anybody from 2 years ago, aside from maybe Richard Sherman, but he's kind of washed. And I guess Ahkello Witherspoon as well. He's not very good either. But, yeah, the 49ers, I think, are going to end up winning the division. All right, so now we've got the divisions out of the way. Let's predict the playoffs, shall we? So, in the AFC, number 1, I've got the Buffalo Bills. Number 2, I've got the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 3, I've got the Cleveland Browns. And number 4, I've got the Tennessee Titans. In the wild card spot, the number 5 spot, I've got the Baltimore Ravens. Coming in at number 6, I've got the Miami Dolphins. And number 7, the Indianapolis Colts. I think it's going to be very competitive this year between all these teams. But that's my prediction for now. And as for the wild card games themselves, obviously that would set up the Chiefs versus the Colts. I think the Chiefs win that fairly easily. And then we've got the Cleveland Browns taking on the number 6 seed Miami Dolphins. I think the Browns will end up taking it, but watch out for the Dolphins. They're dangerous this year. And then the Titans versus the Ravens. Once again, pretty much the same thing as last year. Same old story every year. I've got the Baltimore Ravens upsetting Tennessee once again, just like they did last year. So that moves us on to the division. And first up, we've got Buffalo taking on Baltimore. And once again, I think Buffalo ends up taking it. And then we've got Kansas City versus the Cleveland Browns. And hot take, I think the Browns pull off the upset here. I think they get revenge for last year. That's my hot take of the video. I think the Browns move on to the conference championship to face the Bills, where they will end up falling a little bit short of the Super Bowl, because in the Super Bowl, I've got the Buffalo Bills this year. I just think the Bills are so strong this year. Their defense is fantastic. Their offense, with Josh Allen and all of them, is great. They're going to be a huge threat to win the Super Bowl this year. So that's the AFC. Moving on to the NFC. The number 1 seed, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 2, I've got the Green Bay Packers. Number 3, San Francisco 49ers. And number 4, the Washington Redskins. In the wild card spot, number 5, the Los Angeles Rams. Number 6, the Seattle Seahawks. And number 7, hot take, the Arizona Cardinals. Yes, I have the entire NFC West making the playoffs. It's going to make NFL history as the first division to have all 4 teams make the playoffs. That's what I think is going to happen. It's going to be very competitive this year in the NFC West. I think all 4 teams can easily get 10 wins, if not more. And I think all 4 teams make the playoffs. So that will set up number 2 seed Green Bay taking on the Arizona Cardinals. I have Green Bay winning that, moving on to the divisional round. And then we have the number 3 seed 49ers up against the number 6 seed Seattle Seahawks. A classic rivalry game, and I do think the Niners and Seahawks will split games this year, I do have the 49ers taking the playoff game and moving on to the divisional round. And then finally, we have the Washington Redskins taking on the Los Angeles Rams. And I think the Los Angeles Rams will get the job done, and they will move on to the divisional round. All right, so now we've got the divisional round. We've got the Buccaneers taking on the Los Angeles Rams. This could go either way. I think there's potential for upset here, given how good Los Angeles' defense is. But I do have the Bucs moving on by a very thin margin to the conference championship. And then we have Green Bay versus the 49ers, an old playoff rivalry. Green Bay kind of dominated it in the 90s, but in the 2010s, the 49ers were the ones who dominated it. And I think that trend continues. The 49ers have owned Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs in the past, and I think they do it again this year. I've got the 49ers pulling off the upset in Lambeau Field. They're going to move on to the conference championship against the Bucs. Unfortunately for my team, I think this is where their run ends. I think Tom Brady is a guy that you just cannot bet against. Like, no matter what team he's on. Like, nobody thought that the Bucs were going to go to the Super Bowl this year or last year. Nobody thought that was going to happen, but they did it because it's Tom freaking Brady. So yeah, like, you can't really bet against the guy, I don't think. Tom Brady is going to be going back to the Super Bowl once again, where he will try and get his 8th ring at this point. Like, I've actually lost count as to how many rings he's won. Yes, he's won 7, so he's going to go for number 8. It's going to be the Bucs versus the Bills in the Super Bowl. I know that's kind of a boring prediction, given that they're both the 1 seeds in my prediction, but that's what I have. And as for the Super Bowl itself, I have the Buffalo Bills taking it this year. I think the Buffalo Bills will win in a nice matchup against Tampa Bay. I think that defense is going to be super strong, super tough for Brady to deal with, and I have the Bills taking it home. They're going to take home their first ever Lombardi Trophy finally. About damn time they get something. So yeah, there's my NFL predictions for the 2021 season. Let me know what you thought of it down in the comments below. And what are your predictions for the season? Who do you think is going to win each division? And what are your preliminary playoff predictions as well? Let me know down in the comments below. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button on this video if you enjoyed it. And make sure to subscribe to my channel for more content to come in the future. Next week, I'm hopefully going to be talking about Survivor Season 41. They finally announced when that season's going to be starting. We're finally going to be getting some new Survivor season going. About time. It's been too long since the last Survivor season, but finally we've got a new Survivor season coming up, so stay tuned for my cast assessment next week on that season. And once again, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more content to come in the future. And until that next video, once again, my name is the California Cougar, and always remember to stay California cool. Peace!